Hungary shall protect the institution of marriage as the union of one man and one woman.
So that's CPAC, which has the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orbán, an authoritarian leader that the right absolutely loves. He came to speak. No word on whether many of the log cabin Republicans were in attendance at CPAC, but they clearly didn't receive a very warm welcome, with everyone in the crowd cheering, stripping away the rights of so many people, even those inside of their own party. But that's not all the homophobia you've got from Viktor Orbán. Let's roll a bit more.
Family ties shall be based on marriage or the relationship between parents and children. To sum up, the mother is a woman, the father is a man, and leave our kids alone. Full stop, end of discussion.
It's always amazing when a crowd looks exactly like you'd expect that it would. Anyway, he didn't just come there to spread homophobia. There was a lot of other awful things he had to say. And look, he was brought there because he has, in Hungary, done a great bit of work to create the sort of world that conservatives want for us here. Largely lacking in a free media, of rights being stripped away en masse, that sort of thing. And bear in mind, he has been busy, not just in substance, but also in rhetoric. Last month, he gave a speech that was so heinous that one of his longtime advisors quit, said, "I can't work for you anymore," said it was a speech worthy of Goebbels. Here is what Viktor Orbán said: "We are willing to mix with one another, but we do not want to become peoples of mixed race." He added that countries where this was seen as acceptable are no longer nations. So once the races begin to mix, you lose your nation. He said that weeks ago, and they still had him speak at their conference. Just if you're curious at all about what they think about these sorts of topics, the "we shouldn't mix the races" was not a deal breaker with Viktor Orbán. Anyway, Adrian, let's start with you. What do you think about CPAC choosing to feature him above all people?
It's extremely disappointing, but especially given that we're seeing, kind of this nationalistic mindset and more greater white supremacy principles on an international global scale. And so to bring in another leader in another nation to kind of truly reflect those same beliefs, it's disappointing and disgusting, especially for Hungary. It's like, didn't it learn anything with World War II? I know it aligned significantly with at least trade with Nazi Germany as well as with fascist Italy. And so to think that people haven't learned since then and they're still reflecting these ideologies, even if they're going low key with them at this point in time, it really makes you think that, well, where are we going to be next? Where is this actually going to go? Because hopefully we're not going to be going backward.
The right wing in America, specifically the Republican Party, high-ranking officials and their media apparatus want you to believe that the left is all crazies, right? They're crazy. There's a video going up on TYT Investigates later today, if not the weekend, that's just Ted Cruz being like, the left, they're all transgender socialists. And they're saying these left, they've gone way too far left. Listen, to find actual quotes of leftists, people who identify with the left actually sounding crazy, Libs of TikTok has to spend every single day going deep, deep, deep into TikTok. To find the psychopaths in the right wing, you just need to look on the stage at CPAC.
Yeah.
Those people are front and center. The Democratic Party gave you the New Deal and Social Security and Medicare. Huge government programs that, guess what, people actually like. Those are way bigger left-wing initiatives than what the crumbs we might gobble up from the IRA that's about to possibly get passed.
Yeah.
That's what I need everyone to point out, because Ted Cruz out there, Marco Rubio, oh, these socialist, communist, godless, transgender psychopaths who are canceling you. No. That you don't have any evidence of that. But I have evidence that you invited Viktor Orbán to speak at CPAC, the guy who said that there shouldn't be interracial marriage. I'm done.
Yeah. Hey, in defense of Viktor Orbán, he didn't say there shouldn't be interracial marriage. He said the races shouldn't mix, which goes way beyond just not getting married.
Right.
It's way more all-encompassing and disgusting. That's, by the way, the guy that Tucker Carlson has spent the last couple of years boosting to his audience. So the American public, which, let's keep it real, isn't naturally full of that much information about the things that go on in other countries. The only information they have about Viktor Orbán is the positive stuff they've heard from Tucker Carlson. Again, Tucker Carlson in love with the authoritarian who doesn't want the races to mix. But Viktor Orbán doesn't have to answer for that. Tucker Carlson's certainly not going to have to. In any event, Orbán was there for the homophobia, perhaps for some of the casual racism, and also to turn reality on its head. It's a great place for it. After all, in that B-roll, you saw people holding up signs saying Trump won. The election was like 19 months ago, and they still believe that Trump won. Anyway, he said in his speech, the horrors of Nazism and communism happened because some Western states in continental Europe abandoned their Christian values. And today's progressives are planning to do the same. They want to give up on Western values and create a new world, a post-Western world. Who is going to stop them if we don't? Yes, as we all know, fascism was created by out-of-control progressives. Fascism and communism, which I've always seen to be somewhat distinct ideologies, were both created by out-of-control wokesters, I suppose. But I love hearing from fascists about how progressives are responsible for Nazism. He also said this, again, to claims that he's a racist. Don't worry, a Christian politician cannot be racist. Which, that has not been my experience going through life.
Good. That's so hilarious.
No, but this is what
he
they
waved
want.
his hand. He cannot be racist. These aren't the racists you're looking for.
Yeah.
Your actions speak louder, but.
Yeah, no, it's as Adrian said, it's the Trump thing. It's just say the crazy, because the audience doesn't want to hear truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. In fact, they've been trained to love statements for being ridiculous. They don't need to be convinced that the people that are talking to them aren't racist. They not only don't care if they're racist, they want them to be racist. But at the same time, they want the racist to stick a thumb in the eye of non-racists who might overhear this conversation. So say the craziest thing you can imagine. Say things that are on their face not true. The audience actively wants that. They gobble it up.
Yeah, well, like you had noted in the last segment, it's the fact that the United States, it lives on hypocrisy. So of course, a number of its citizens do the same in terms of their behavior. This thought that they can be racist and also be Christians. They're like, no, that can't work. Those two things, oh no, they completely are incongruent. And no, you can subscribe to all the principles you want, but really to try to avoid the label of racist simply because it makes you feel like an icky person. So you're going to create this myth. It just seems to be very much aligned with hypocrisy of truly things that our nation engages in. And so it's clearly why Orbán would come there and engage in the same behaviors, knowing that it's something that the crowd will really eat up. And hey, he'll get a standing ovation, all is well.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.